How long has it taken you to get it out now? I mean, does this come out every month now, or is it quarterly? How regular?
Well, what it is, it comes out every month, but it's actually reprinted every month now. Right. So instead of doing like 10,000 copies, like every 4 months, we're actually doing 40,000 every 4 months now.
Okay.
It's reprinted with different ads.
So you're expanding, really?
Oh, definitely, most definitely.
So with expanding, well, I'll say a bit about the product, and then we'll go into this thing about growth. So Kool Runnings, I mean, I've seen it right from... I remember when you first spoke to me about starting this magazine.
That's right.
How long ago was that? About a year or...
That was about a year and 2 months ago.
Yeah. And I remember us talking about how it could go ahead, how it could be funded. And at the moment, I mean, I look at it here, this is a very much quality piece of... I guess published material, is it? Would we say?
That's right. I'd say published, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean this can compete with any magazine that I see out there, whether it be over here or over the seas. You've got a good blend of I guess community, local issues that are UK based, not just in the north. But then you've also got Boys to Men here.
Well, Dominic, if we could stop it right there, it's not only UK based; it's actually an international magazine.
Yeah.
And as you say, if you look in it, it's like we have a lot of worldwide artists from America, Jamaica, the Caribbean, UK as well. We've got Skepta in there, exclusive interviews. We've got Ice Cube. We've got The Game. Mm-hmm. You know, you name it, and we just plan on getting bigger and bigger each time it comes out.
But then you're also pushing local artists as well, like you've got Grizz in there.
Definitely.
I've seen Grizz Life. You've got local businesses, and also you've got issues and topics. I can see my good friend here, Richmond, Mr. Kwashi.
Mr. Kwashi.
Yeah, Mr. Kwashi.
Yes.
Yeah, talking about wealth creation, circulating the black pound. And I think that's very important, because I suppose, would you class this as a black business or a black-owned business or a generic business?
I'd say generic, because that's one thing. I don't want to classify it as black or anything, because there's something in it for everyone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what we're trying to get out there. So it's not black. I'd class it as urban.
Yeah.
So
I see here coming soon. You've got www.mrjericho.com. Now you're looking. I've got to say here, you're looking quite smooth. So you can turn out well when you're ready. You know, I've noticed.
Don't put me on the spot, dude.
So is this you? Are you going into modelling?
What? No, nothing like that, dude. It's just the profile.
All right.
It's just the profile. Basically, the website's just going to be things I'm doing in the future. Like, we have a lot of concerts coming out that we're doing with G-Star at the moment. Mm-hmm. I said Boys to Men coming up on the 2nd and the 3rd of February.
Yeah, I'm on that.
That's going to be massive. Mm-hmm. And we actually, tell you what, for people out there listening right now, we're actually giving away free tickets to the concerts, for the one in Manchester and the one in Bridlington. Mm-hmm. And all you have to do is just email us at koolrunnings.co.uk.
Okay, say that again then. Give them time to go and get the pen and paper.
Sorry.
Boys to Men, it's a little competition running there. If anybody is interested in going, you don't even have to answer a question. Just send an email. Does the email have to say anything?
Just the name, and that's it. It just goes in a draw. info@koolrunnings.co.uk.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's your chance to win 2 free tickets to Boys to Men.
And that's definitely a worthwhile thing. But how do you manage to keep this together? Because I know you've got staff, and this is... I'm not just saying this, people. Darren, Mr. Jericho here, is very much an inspiration to other young black young black people who are thinking about going into business, and older ones, because I think sometimes when I think of black business in the past, and I don't want to speak out of hand, but sometimes you may think that not wanting to really spend too much money on a product, so maybe not putting out the best quality product that can be put out. This is good quality. How do you do it?
Well, it's a bit of hard work. I mean, as you know, like the magazine, it's a free magazine, and it runs off advertising. You know what I mean? And people keep advertising over and over again because it's actually advertising that works. And we try not to hold back on the quality because it's the quality that makes people pick up the magazine. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it looks rubbish, you wouldn't really take it up, would you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we just keep it like that, and just as you say, just want to get bigger and bigger each time with bigger artists. Issues that people are coping with day to day, and we just want to get the name out there, really.
Okay, so if anybody wants to maybe advertise themselves, a business, or to maybe do some type of press release talking about a topic or a subject, how would they make contact with you yourself?
All they need to do is contact one of the team they can either log on to koolrunnings.co.uk.
And Kool Runnings with a K.
With a K. That's KOOLRUNNINGS, if you grab your pen. And they can also find us on Facebook as well, Kool Runnings or Jericho Media Group. Right. Or we're on Twitter as well, Google Plus, you name it.
Mm-hmm. And I've got to ask you this question now, because you look like you're quite a together person, but this is it's pressure, isn't it? You've got deadlines to meet.
Definitely.
You've got wages to pay.
Oh, yes.
And you've got to pay for resources and everything like that. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with it when you know that you're waiting on stuff and you've still got to pay for stuff? You've got to delay people, maybe paying off accounts, that type of stuff. How do you do it? How do you look after? How do you not go into despair and lock yourself away in your bedroom, not want to get out of your bed? Or do you actually do that?
Do I have to be honest?
Yeah, please. Because honestly, we're talking about each one to teach one here, and we're going out to the community. So, how do you do it? Because a lot of people are scared of going into the area of business because they don't think they can cope.
Well, what it is, have you ever heard of the term work hard, play hard?
Mm-hmm. That's you.
That's pretty much it.
So when you play hard now, is that some type of release?
Correct.
For you?
Yeah, you've got to have your enjoyment as well, and yeah. But when it comes to work time, beginning of the week, you're up early, you're on it, you have appointments to make, you have sales meetings, you have everything else. So on the week, when it comes to the weekend, well, you're all out there. You just got to let the pressure off, aren't you?
Well, there's some people that would say though that, you know what, when black people go into business, that they're just too flash and showy, and they end up wasting away their money and their resources and their time by playing too hard. You've got to get a balance, don't you?
Oh, definitely. You've got to have that balance. You can't go over the balance. You'll get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm quite a reserved person myself, whilst I know John Paul is more of a...
You're reserved.
Is more of a is more of a party beast than I am, really.
Oh, definitely. We know about John Paul, don't we?
You've heard about John Paul all
I've
the way
seen him in
action. But I'm now. I mean, reflecting on my time in business, I remember, because they say it's lonely at the top. And when you're running the business, in the end, the buck stops with you, doesn't it? And there's no mincing words about that. The buck stops with you, and so you, I guess, have got to be in the position where you can handle other people's problems as well, other people's issues when they come to you. Because when your staff come to you, do you find? I used to find this, that I'd end up being like a father figure, very paternal, because
you have to be.
Yeah. And
you have to be, and you have to make your staff feel comfortable, like you're there to talk to them all the time, and as I say, you've got to live. It's more like if you actually look in the magazine when you open it at a class like Mustafa's, like the family, we call ourselves like the Kool Runnings family. So it's more like we go together, we chill together, we spend a lot of time together. You know what I mean? So we just live close like that, and it's important because each person has got to trust each other, and that's where a lot of the teamwork comes in.
Right. So I guess that support is there, because but you're quite lucky there that you can call on the Cool Runnings family. But what I would challenge you here and say is that, you know what, within business, when you have that type of relationship with the people that you're employing around you, don't you think, because I remember this, I was watching a program on television, and this guy, very successful in business, and he said, you know what, right, I'm not employing anybody that I don't feel I can sack. Now, when you say family, it's hard to sack family, isn't it? So, so how do you deal in that area? Because I mean, maybe you're lucky that everybody who's been around you has performed perfectly.
Well, luckily, you've hit it on the right button right there. Luckily, I haven't had to sack anybody yet. But to be honest with you, we work so good together, I wouldn't even dream of doing it. You know what I mean? They would have to be like totally out of play, but nah, everybody's down to earth. They, you know, they do what's required. You know what I mean? Half the time, like, these interviews are done like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, after concerts or before concerts and all of that. So I think the main problem that we have probably is, if I'll be totally honest again, like, you've got to go, because there's a lot of partying going on. And it goes with the industry, you know what I mean? And you've just got to control yourself and keep your composure while you're doing these interviews, because they are big stars. And, you know, I remember this one time, I won't exactly say any names, but
go on, you can say it if you want, you know, as long as it's nothing too bad.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, one of the celebrities and stuff, I think it was The Game, and I think one of the team got a bit too, drank a little bit too much, and I think they kind of noticed, like. But it's like they got a right telling off. The celebrities will right tell them off if they're not professional and they don't hold the posture right and stuff like that. So they've got to really keep it together, and it's hard work. You know what I mean? It's not all, you know.
And it's not. The thing is, this world of business isn't for everybody, though, is it? I mean, I guess everybody's got their forte in life, but for those people who might be listening in now, and there'll definitely be people listening in now who have always thought about, they want to follow their passion, they want to follow their dream, but, you know, they're caught up in this toil where this 9 to 5, where, you know, why give up definite for not definite? You know, they know
if you don't have to give it up, don't give it up, because business is not for everybody. You know what I mean? Especially, like, if it's your own, you've got to, like, put everything absolutely in it. You know what I mean? There's no 9 to 5 in this. You know what I mean? You know yourself. Yeah. When you had your business, it's like if you're required to wake up at, if you sometimes you don't even sleep for a couple of days.
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember?
I remember it well, my God. You know, but the thing is, when you're in it, sometimes you don't even realize the type of lifestyle that you're living. Because I remember people would come to me and say, "Dom, how do you do it? How do you manage to go? You work all day, then you go and you open up your club, and then you're in your club till 7, 8 in the morning. Then you go home, you sleep for 2 hours, and you're up again." It's
one of them where you've got no choice. Yeah. And the thing is, I think the hardest thing to deal with, if you've like got a family or something like that, it's the pressure that it puts on your family as well. Yeah. Because especially if you've got kids, it's finding the balance where you've got to, you know, look after your kids while going to work.
So you've got two lots of pressures there.
Exactly,
really.
you've got lots of pressures.
Family life, you've got business life. Yeah. Where do you lie in between that? Because if you don't commit to the business, and it starts going down, then you may have a wife, a partner.
Oh, if your partner sees that money start going down, man.
It's going to be on your case now when you're saying, you know, I said we are going to go on holiday, but I've got to go and pay now for these business rates and blah, 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 blah. And I really need to pay them, otherwise I'm putting us in jeopardy. They're not going to be very happy.
No, they won't.
I mean, I made a few notes here. And one of the things that I've highlighted here is that one of the benefits, I guess, within business is that there's no what they call the glass ceiling, because you've got this. I suppose within society, as a young black person, you may feel, or it may be very apparent, something physically there stopping you from rising up too high in the field that you've chosen. In business, I've always seen it that you're more in charge of your destiny. So you know what, even if you fail, you're failing. It's not necessarily because there's a system there that may be either racist or discriminating against you, where you just feel that you can't rise up within that system.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think I wouldn't put it as far as failing. I mean, if you tried something and it didn't work and you tried your best at it,
try something else.
You know, you tried something else. Probably it's just not for you. You know what I mean? Just stick to what you're good at. You know. So I don't really go in things that I can't really do or really manage. I just stay away from it.
But sometimes to know that you can't manage something as well, you have to go there, don't you? You know,
it's a challenge, isn't it?
You have to go there first, and it is a challenge. And I think one thing that I'd say to anybody thinking about going into a new business is that one thing that you need to make sure that you do, you don't want to go and start creating stress in your life straight away.
No, so make sure you know the easiest way to avoid that. Just go in business with enough money.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
And they'll be fine.
Yeah, go into business with enough money. Make sure you've got a definite plan, so you're not going to waste money.
Definitely.
Yeah, and make sure that you haven't just got enough money just to start the business. You need to have working capital put down. If you haven't got that, don't go into business.
Don't waste it.
In saying that, though, I mean, I think in saying that, it doesn't matter how much working capital you have if you're going to go into business.
Start again, JP.
Yeah, in saying that, it doesn't matter how much working capital you have if you haven't got the machinery and mechanism behind you. Because obviously you're going into business for the first time, you got working capital, but you may end up, the average person could end up paying more. The average person, for example, you're used to dealing with printers, and you're used to dealing with designing posters, adverts, and the works.
Yes.
Somebody might come and consult you about designing a poster for a particular dance, but they're trying a thing for the first time, they're off a bottomless pit, but they don't know. They haven't got the guidance to guide where the pitfalls are. Because you can start with £1 million, you can use £1 million to earn £200,000. So going into business with enough money is one thing, but you got to be able to quantify that money, because you'll end up spending more than you need for some goods, some services.
I totally agree with you, John Paul. And you know what it is? You know what's letting down these businesses nowadays? A lot of them, they're mistaking cash flow for profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's simple as that. You know, they see a lot of money coming in, and they're thinking, oh man, I'm making loads of money, but it's not. You've got to know your profit margin and stuff. If you don't, you're in a lot of trouble.
So true. I remember I'd put on a big dance, and we'd bring in, and the turnover would be quite high on the dance, yeah, and people would be coming up to you on the night, they pat you on the back. Your pocket fat now, innit? And you're thinking, wait a minute, you think that these are just the bills that I've got to pay here. You still got to go pay your business rates, your insurance, your utilities, everything like that, and your wages, on top of on top of the usual bills that people have to pay when they're putting on promotions. And I think that one of the main things, I think this type of covers what John Paul was saying as well. If we fail to prepare, then prepare to fail.
Correct.
It's so important, the preparation, because you've got to believe that and so true what John Paul was saying, that you could have £1 million and only make 200,000 off it. You're losing money. You're losing big money, because now
Definitely.
How much are you going to now make off that 200,000?
No,
50,000. You know, until you've got nothing. And so you've got to have a very much a self-awareness as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So how do you keep track? Do you have an accountant who keeps track of things? Because
Yes.
obviously you've got to pay for that accountant.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Everything costs.
Yeah.
Because and that person. But in terms of guidance for you now, especially when you first started, I mean, I know me and you always used to talk a lot on,
Oh,
on
yes,
them
we did,
things when
yes,
you
yes,
first
yes.
started. But in terms of guidance, I mean, besides that, where would you go? Where would you go? Who would keep you on track?
Well, this is gonna sound really cheesy now, right?
I know what you're gonna say.
you know, the person that keeps me on track. I'm like a mommy's boy.
Yeah.
So
I knew you was a mummy's boy, but I didn't want to say.
hey, there's no shame in the
There's
game.
nothing wrong with that. I'm a mummy's boy.
If you look at some of the biggest players in the game right now in the world, entrepreneurs worldwide. You know, you've got a lot of them who the moms are actually the managers. I mean, if you looked on Usher, even with him, even when he said, right, I tell you what, I'll sack my mum. And after I did, everything went
wrong for him, didn't it?
Everything went downhill from there. But the main thing for me, like, is trust. Whom can you trust? You can trust your mum, innit?
Always.
Exactly.
Always.
So
big up all the mums out there.
Big up all the mums out there.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm just going to give you one last boost before John Paul comes with a couple of tracks. I'm going to give you one last boost here. We've got Cool Runnings here, and basically, where's it going to be? In fact, you tell people now who have just tuned in, what is Cool Runnings? What is it about?
Well, what it is, Cool Runnings is an urban lifestyle magazine that's aimed to inspire people, especially the younger generation. It is for everybody in terms that a lot of the articles in there, I would say, is between 18 and 30 years old. But I know the older heads usually like looking on him to say whether the grandson's in there or the son's in there or anything like that. But it's basically aimed on the younger generation to just inspire them. And that's why we do it with a lot of artists and stuff, because you see exactly where they're coming from and where they've been.
So if somebody wants a copy of Cool Runnings right now, where in Manchester, where could they go for it? I know they can get it online, can't they?
Yeah, they can get it online, obviously, from anywhere in the world. They can download it or read it online. If you want a hard copy, the hard copies, to be honest with you, usually go with as soon as you put them out in the first 2 weeks. So they don't last very long. People tend to snap them up straight away. But if you look on, they can get it in Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, Liverpool, Huddersfield. They can also get it in like Dewsbury, Batley, but that's like Huddersfield areas. Like in Manchester, you're looking on like doctors' surgeries, dentists, local takeaways, few places around the city centre. You've got House of Fraser, Clarence Desk. You've got like it's distributed a lot around my side as well, and like close areas.
Now, I think I'm saying it live on air. I think that this is such a quality product now that you've done your time now. You've done your time. You've given people a free resource for many years. Well, not many years. 1 year, 2 months. But that's a long time still. It's coming from your pocket, right?
Yeah, correct.
About time that we start seeing a little price thing in the top of Cool Runnings. Because I think that I would be willing to buy it. Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would buy it. You know, I don't know how much I'd pay for it, but I see a lot of stuff that I would think out there that I wouldn't buy.
Yeah.
That is inferior to this. I mean, even the feel of it, never mind. It feels proper. This feels proper, man. But what I'm saying, I think I've bigged you up enough as it is now. Because I can see.
Oh no, you can continue if you want. Sorry.
I can see your head growing over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move into a little bit of early dancehall style, and I hope that people appreciate this.
Mother, she look glad.
We have a caller on the line. We've got Joe.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Joe.
To you all. Yes, I've been listening. I just tuned in and found this interesting program you have in there about business.
Right.
Right. I'd like to say that, yes, I agree with a lot of the points, but I wanted to ask, because this is good for young people, I would like if you did more of this, really, for them to know the pitfalls of going in, not just the pitfalls, the successes of going into business.
Yeah.
Because you spoke about when things go wrong, and I'm talking right across the board, because it's not just black businesses that fail. I find that people need somewhere to go when things start going wrong.
Yes.
What course would he advise? Because I know many people go into business and they just have that innate ability where they don't have to go on they haven't been on a course, not that they don't have to, but they do go on for later on, don't they?
Yes.
To do courses or whatever, business courses, business instruction. So what I wanted to say is, courses would you advise? Because if you have a course, you do a course, you should know all the different aspects of business, advertising, cash flow. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yes. So, therefore, I haven't heard you speak about any courses. I wonder if you knew of any, so that it can encourage young people to get on these courses in business courses,
Definitely.
so that they can see where you're going. Also, you spoke about trust, and I couldn't agree with you more. Trust has a lot to do with it, but even without trust, if you went on a course, it would guide you more.
Very true.
I would say, instead of just trial and error, because many people have these ideas of get rich quick. They don't realize you have to be committed. Speak to business people and they'll tell you. Years ago, there were many, many, many black businesses around. Many. You didn't have to go. You had the bakery, you had the mechanic, you had everything. So,
Yes,
that's what I wanted to say. I've forgotten all what I wanted to say, really.
Well, you're talking about courses there, wasn't you, Joe?
Yes, I think it's important to let young people know.
Yeah,
Don't you think so?
Yeah, definitely. Is it Joe?
Yes, it's Joe.
Oh, hi, Joe. Lovely to meet you.
And you. Pleased to meet you, I was going to say when I came on, and I thought, no, I've not met him in person.
It's all good. You know what you just said? You're absolutely awesome. That's just what you want to hear on a Monday.
Definitely.
Some inspiration for the week, innit? Well, what it is, courses, I think that courses like form the foundation, for anybody.
Yes, even the foundation.
Yeah, just the foundation to get that, the main points in your head. Yeah,
definitely.
Because what usually happens is, you go on the course, and say somebody goes in business now, I find that the courses are there. You refer to that, you remember what you learn and stuff. But I think in business, what I think is kept me going on, right, is that I've got a mentor. And a lot of business people actually do. Like, the younger generation, they have an older mentor. They have a mentor, like an entrepreneur that's quite successful behind them.
That's where I'm coming from. And also, they need to take advantage also of the agencies which are set up, that they can go to, like,
definitely.
Is it Business Link and others?
Yeah, there's Business Link. There's also one called Blue Orchid, which I've brought them into the Windrush Millennium Centre before on Alexandra Road, and they do come out, and they don't usually charge either. But what would be really great would be if we had some type of resource that was directly within our community.
We did have, because I was one of those who used to, one of the many jobs I've had, is where you are a liaison officer for businesses, black people setting up businesses.
Okay.
Go and visit them, speak with them, hear their side, put forward where you think they could do better. Not to criticize anything like that, to work with them.
Let me but to make one thing clear here. With regards to Business Link and Blue Orchid, you have to be very, very careful, because if you are a young person and you're considering setting up a business, the best place I think in the initial stages is somebody you know who is in business, because Business Link and Blue Orchid cannot give you money. All they can do is tell you the very basics about how to set up a business.
Yes,
And they've
Paul, but meanwhile
they have
you're
been,
saying
hang on,
that.
they have been severely
Sorry.
curtailed recently. They're
Yeah.
not as big as they were. They're almost well, they're not insignificant,
No.
but the whole nature of the thing has changed. And
Yeah.
if you're a young person and you have got the zest and the zeal to want to go and set up a business, and you're told that the enterprise zone will only allow you £1,000, and it's not even a grant, they will aid you with £1,000, but you've got to pay it back. And the hoops you've got to go through to get £1,000, and there's
Yes, but we have to try these things. We can't always. We
they will
cannot
become despondent.
discourage
You have to. They will
young
become.
people.
They will become despondent.
Things
So the point I'm
change.
trying to
they
make
can
is,
move on to another
if they have
organisation,
somebody,
they can go and seek help. There's many things. If we always put the barriers up initially.
nobody's putting up any barriers. What I'm saying is, if somebody like the
barriers.
Development
What
Trust, let
I'm
me,
trying to
Joe, just
say
listen to
is
me for
that
1
there are
second.
ways we
Joe,
can-
listen to me for 1 second. If the Development Trust, if at the Development Trust, a meeting was convened for people who are interested in setting up businesses, and you have some people there who have spoken to Business Link and Blue Orchid to give them what the situation is, and you have some people there who are in business, some people like Deron, who has to deal with lots of business in advertising capacity. He knows what a business is hoping to get from his magazine if you advertise, blah blah blah, so that you don't let these people become despondent. Dealing with Business Link and Blue Orchid will make you very despondent unless somebody prepares you beforehand.
Well, it's not everybody who becomes despondent, and we cannot be held back. No matter what in life, you have to go forward and elevate yourself and see where you're going, seek advice. Things happen to better people than us, and they still seem to manage. There are many black businesses and other businesses out there who have struggled, and you'll hear their stories. I indeed have heard many of their stories, and they're still getting through. They're still getting through the difficulties and everything else, and are managing. If we're going to speak to young people, we're not to discourage them initially with, I don't want to say rhetoric, but we don't want to discourage them with certain things, because indeed there is a way. There's always a way, and that's what we have to tell them.
I think I'm in
Even
a...
though there may be difficulties.
If I can cut in there, Joe, I think, yes, I agree with you there, and I also agree, John, because I guess what we've got to give young people out there is as comprehensive amount of information around training.
Which is what you're doing, Dominic, I have to say. I think perhaps yours is called the... What's your program called again?
The Many Rivers to Cross.
Yeah, the mental health. But there needs to be something occasionally on business, where, because you're teaching them right there what you and your colleague and John Paul are all saying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a learning experience.
And
whatever you hear on business, they can pick something up from you.
And it's a real
and even hear
experience
what
as
you're
well.
saying.
Because we always try to come
That's
from...
why I stayed tuned in.
Yes, and we really appreciate the support, Joe.